connection. Even if you have like a the basic internet also, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, Shanmuga, you can go ahead.
Yeah, hi. So I will share my screen right away. We'll start the session.
So Jignesh, now you're seeing the screen very smaller, right? Middle of your laptop.
Yes.
To get the full screen, right side top there is an icon. View.
Okay.
Right top, right side. View.
Wait.
Click on
Okay.
view and select hide people at top. Click on view and select hide people at top.
Okay, now it's visible full screen.
Okay, if you want extra large screen, you can double click on your screen. You will get a extra large screen.
Okay.
You got it right?
Wait.
Just double click or else same. Click on view and select enter full screen. Last option.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Okay. Yeah, yes, Shankar, you can go ahead.
Okay. So yesterday I wanted to start with how to use the IDE for creating any console application. So
Okay.
I was showing you, no. So to create a console application, a basic console application in C Sharp, it's like you have to search for console application. They are searching for console application. You'll be seeing different console application. Basically, for this one says C Sharp, but it is Linux, Mac OS, which means this is .NET Core. This is using .NET Core framework. This is entirely different language, which is VB, and the one with C Sharp and .NET framework is the one that we work actually. So that is the normal console application that you use, that where you use only the C Sharp language, and the framework is also very simple and normal. So once you create an application using a console application which uses .NET framework, once you use and create a console application with .NET framework, you'll be seeing a solution. So once that is created, so you'll see towards the right side, you'll see the solution explorer where you'll see. So this class 1, class 2, C Sharp and all will not be there. Only your program.cs and the properties, reference, app config will be there. Rest, class 1, class 2, C Sharp will not be there. Okay.
Okay.
And we'll see what is this properties, reference, app config, and all one by one.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start with this page. So when when you one second, I'll show you how it will be looking when you create an fresh application. Now, these are all my sample code. So very, uh, this is so a program.cs will look like when you create a page. You will see only this. Okay, so you'll see a bunch of a namespace. We call this as namespace. Then a namespace, actually a space where you're going to write your code, and the class, and your public static void main. So what are
Okay.
these actually? Basically, okay, what are these? So first, so you see this program.cs, no? That is the base file. We call it as the base file for your console application. It doesn't mean that you can only work with program.cs. You can even delete this program.cs and create multiple files in your application. Okay, so based on your work or your requirement, you can create multiple classes or multiple files. Based on that, you can write code, but the starting point of your code in a console application will be your public static void main. Okay, your code starts here, so there should be a point where your code is going to start now. So it will be your public static void main. Even you can bypass that we will be seeing later in this C# session itself, how to, whenever you see, let's say whenever you run this application, whenever I am going to run this application, if you hit and start, your application will come here to public static void main only. It will not move to any other files that I created. How to change it also we'll be seeing later uh, in this session itself. Okay, so I'm going to start with what are these namespaces. Okay, the first namespace you need to know is system. Okay, because if you see, the subsequent namespace are from system. Okay, in system I am using collection generic, in system I am using link queue, in system I am using text. Okay, so these are all the collections that I am using, which is inside the system. So we need to know what is system. Okay, let's say I already gave you an example yesterday. Like if you want to build on if you have a mall, and inside that, if you are going to use a particular floor, then you are going to take all the resources from the mall. Okay, that are already existing. Same way, your Visual Studio, Visual Studio gives you some resources. So with only an IDE, this Visual Studio is an IDE which is developed by Microsoft. Okay, with only IDE, you cannot write any code uh, completely and create an application. You can do it. Let's say, so today you are going to, I want you to add like multiple numbers, like there are for 4 to 5 pages. I want you to add it. Okay, I want you to add it and give me the answers. Give me the answer. So technically, what we can do, we can use a calculator. Okay, or we can do it manually. So which one is faster? Calculator is faster. So being computerized, okay, calculator is computerized. Being computerized, I am asking you to do the same thing in the C# program. Okay, so I want a calculator inside the C# program so that it is easy for me to add. Same way, not only a calculation. So I'm giving you an example, but yeah. So you need something to enhance your technology. Let's say I'll put on normal, show you the code. Okay, let's say I'll come to this line, console.writeLine, and I'm writing this. Let's put this one here and run this. Okay, 1 second. Okay, you see this hi is written to the console. This is the command prompt. First, what console application means, whatever that runs in the command prompt, this is the console. So we call this as console. That's why this is console application. This console application you can run only in the command prompt. It cannot run in any different platform. Okay, first. And so now you see this console.writeLine. It says hi, and I am writing it in the console. So what I am doing is I am writing a text to the command prompt. Okay, but I have not written any code of mine. This console, no, this console is a function that is provided by Microsoft. This console is a function that is provided by Microsoft Visual Studio itself, so that I'm using it and passing this data. So it writes this data to the command prompt for me. Okay, you understand this? I am writing this code, but what I am doing, I'm calling the Microsoft function. I'm using this function and I'm sending this word, so that I'm telling telling the Microsoft function to write it to the command prompt. Writing it technically, opening a command prompt and writing it to the command prompt is not done by me, right? That's the inner code that is written inside the Visual Studio, which is writing it. So I am using this shortcut, no, I'm using this no console.write line. So that saves my time. Now I can write separate code which will write this hi to the console. Yeah, I can write the code. I can open a command prompt and then I can establish a connection to command prompt and then write a word to the command prompt. I can do that, but that is waste of time. And then why is the need of we using an IDE? No, then what is the need of computerization? So if you see this console is comes from system. Okay, what is a system then? A system is a, let's say system is a package. Okay, this package will have many code. It will have like many code that will help us, like this console.write line. It will help us to write the shortcuts. Okay, so you can use the shortcuts from this system so that it will be helpful in your application. This system, see, let's say this system is also an C# code. To understand that, that is a C# code actually. See, this is a C# code.
Okay.
You see, system namespace system. Ours is this one we are writing it. Our namespace is C# tutorial. Whatever name that you created while creating the application is your namespace. Okay, if you see this console, it is under system. That's why I'm calling the system and using it in my one, so that all the internal one I can use. There are lots of things, no, like console. Here we have console, and there will be many things inside. We'll be using one by one. Okay, this console will be having a console.write line. There'll be lots of things. Everything is used from here. Okay, who wrote this code? This code is written by Microsoft team itself. And let's say the Microsoft team is giving you this code, they cannot give you in the CS page, no, .cs they cannot give you, because for you this is a fresh application, but the code that they are giving is that to help you. So that will be added in the reference as a DLL. See, system.
Yeah.
We call this as a DLL. What is DLL? DLL is again, it's a C# code only. It is written by someone. That's why now today in if you go to NuGet package manager, you'll be seeing many DLLs here. No, you'll also see private DLLs which are developed by people like you and me, and we can develop any DLL and we can put it in the NuGet package. Okay, so anyone can use it. What are they? They are like a normal C# application that you write to enhance particular operation. I can write a code which will what it will do. No, it can take data and we can put it into Excel and download it. That if I upload to NuGet package, someone can use it so that they can simply call my DLL and use and send the data so that that DLL will do the work. So that is the two things. One is what is a reference basically, and what we are using our using system. One more thing is, now let's say namespace C# tutorial. I'm going to develop something. This namespace I can use it in some other application also. I can put using this C# tutorial. I can add let's say I'll create on one more C# application where I can add this my C# tutorial as a reference, and then I can put using C# tutorial, and I can use the function of this. I can use any function inside this in the other C# application. How to add reference is very simple. Still, we'll be seeing references a bit uh, not towards the start of C#, but yeah, I'm saying to add reference, hit right click on reference, add reference, and if you see shared projects, you will see here. Now you are not seeing here because I do not have any other shared solutions. Okay. So you'll be seeing the C# tutorial here that you should add. That's all. You got it. Actually, basically, what is a reference? What is a DLL? What is this using system and all? You got it? You have any questions?
Mm, what like difference between like namespace and class? Uh,
Namespace and class you are asking.
yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. See, class is something. Let's say class is something that is only technical. Let's say class is an uh, according to Oops, class is something that will wrap your data into a single unit. So if you see this program, class program, all your code will be inside this class program. All your code is inside the class program. Okay,
Okay,
I'll show you something. Okay, see in this program.cs, all my code is in this class program, but under the namespace C# tutorial. Okay, I have created few more C# pages. No, class 1, class 2, C#.cs and all. Let's go to class 1. You see
okay,
what is the class here? Class 1. All my
okay.
code is inside class
Class
1.
one.
But
Okay,
apart from class 1, I have created multiple classes also. Okay, let's minimize everything. No, that's doesn't need. But see again, there's a namespace here. What is the namespace? C# tutorial. All my all my classes will be inside C# tutorial. How many ever classes you create? C# class 1, class 2. Again, namespace is C# tutorial. C sharp again, namespace is C sharp tutorial, but the classes will alone get changed. So what is the difference between a class and namespaces? A class is something that you use to hold a particular logic. That's all. When you want to write a particular logic, um, you without writing it here and there, you write it in a single place, so that we call that as class. Okay, we
okay,
call that as class. That's why in everywhere we are writing classes. Doesn't mean that you can write only one class, but you can also write many classes. See here, I have written many classes. This concept we'll be seeing later when we are seeing the oops. Many classes.
okay,
But when you create a C sharp application, you can have only one namespace, but you can have n number of classes. A namespace is what defines this whole console application. That's all. I told you know how to call this whole console application in another application. This system, no system is one. System is an application. System is a console application. The system. Same way they
okay,
created a console application. Now we are using it here. Same way, C Sharp tutorial is a console application. All the code will come inside this C Sharp tutorial namespace. You can create n number of classes, n number of class files. Everything will be inside one namespace, that is C Sharp tutorial. That's all. A namespace can be only one. Classes can be in. All the code will be consolidated inside this namespace when you compile the application. That's all. You got it?
okay. So we can say also say that like system is also namespace, right?
Yes. System is a namespace. Yeah.
And in that like collections and dot generic, it's subclass of
Correct.
system. Okay,
Exactly. Exactly. So that's why I
okay,
showed you when you go inside the console, you see system is a namespace.
okay,
Yeah. But this is developed by Microsoft itself. That's all. They developed and they added it as an reference and gave it to us. That's all. That's the difference.
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is what is namespace system, and then we also see a so class. Okay. So what is this public static void main? The use of public static void main you will be seeing only in console application. You will not see in ASP.NET MVC and all. You will not see this. Only in console application we'll have the public static void main. The code starts here basically. Okay, the code starts here basically in the basic form. The basic form that is given by C Sharp itself. And I have already told you, you can have different files and that files can be made to run. Okay,
Okay.
and to run that file also you should have a public static void main. Okay, see. Initially, if you had seen, I have made this file. This file was running. I will tell you how to do that also now. Right click on your, okay, this is solution. You know these things and all. Now this is solution, this is project. Okay,
Okay.
a solution can have n number of project, you know that, and all. No, if you are creating
Yes.
one more project here, you can choose between which project to run by right click on this and say, there will be something called uh, set as
Mm.
startup project. Okay,
Okay.
which means that project will run. So now I have only one project. I'm going to the properties, and you see here startup object.
Okay.
This you can toggle between different classes, class files. So program and class one. So see, I have many different class files, and but I see only program and class one. Why class two and C sharp are not coming up here? That is because I do not have a public static void main in other two. See, in program I have public static void main. Okay,
Okay.
in class one I have public static void main, but in
Okay.
class two or in C sharp, I do not have it. That's why they are not coming up in the properties. Okay. If I select class one, then class one will run. That so public static void main is the start. So if you had in MVC, I will say I'll compare with MVC and say in MVC, where does the application start? It starts in routing, no, app start. App start, it will go to the routing, and that is the place where it identifies the controller and the root and all. Then it goes to the it sends the request to the particular controller, the default controller. So
Okay.
your application starts in the app start. No, same way here in C sharp, application starts in the public static void main. That is how an console application has been developed. Okay, that is how and C sharp itself has been developed. Okay,
Okay.
so so the C always that appear in C sharp program is this main method. So any code inside its curly braces. So if you see this curly braces, any code inside this curly braces will be executed first. Okay. So
Okay.
you don't need to don't have to understand the keyword before and after main, so that uh, you'll get to know them a bit while we work on the C sharp. Okay. So rest you, I think you all know that every statement should end with a semicolon, and that is basic. And mm, yeah, C sharp is case sensitive. C sharp is case sensitive. I think you know, like uh,
Mm-hmm.
if you see this minum, I am declaring it here, and I am using this in multiple places. Let's say if I change this to capital M, it will throw error because C sharp is case sensitive. Okay.
Yes.
And what else is okay? Let's say if you are not using this using system, if I remove it, this console will throw an error. So you can do one more thing is you can write like this system dot console. This way you can do this way. You can directly call the system and call this way. But for this, your system should be inside the reference. If you do not have that inside the reference, it will not work. Okay, that is one way of using the reference. Any questions?
No. No.
Okay, so I have already told you how to write an output, which is console.writeLine. In C sharp, I said that we do not write and separate code to establish a connection between an command prompt. No, that was written in 2002 2003 time. Um, People were writing the exact code to connect with the command prompt and establish the connection and send the data so that it prints in the command prompt. So now we are not wasting time on writing that. Instead, we are calling directly the function inside system. So to how C sharp output. Okay, so you can write C sharp output in two different ways. One is console.writeLine and the other one is console.write. What is the difference between them? A write line will create a new line and write the character. A write will not create a new line. Instead, it will write in the same line. I'll show you. First, we'll see that. Okay. Oh, I should write one more. Put write. Okay. So see here. So the write line did print hi. Okay. So what this did was it wrote the hi, and it is like it wrote the hi and it hit enter, so that the next line is a new line. So next whatever you write, it will be a new line. So that's why the hello world second came in the second line. Okay. Hello world second came in the second line, but this console.write will not give an new line after this particular word is written. So the next line, the second line, what we are printing comes in the same line as that of console world second. You understand? When you write
Yes.
an write line, it will give you a new line after that particular word. So that's
Okay.
the difference between write and write line. So that is C sharp output, and this is the only way we write outputs in C sharp. Um, like how we wrote like in C printf, in C++ we had a C out, same way. And now we'll be seeing comments. So I have multiple places you're seeing comments, and this comments is common all through every frameworks. Say we saw this console write line and all. No, this write line we'll be using only in console application. Okay. We'll not be using in because web application we are not going to print anything in the console. See, console is something that you do it here, but still we have console.log we do it. Okay. So when we are doing a log, when there is an error, we will be seeing in the in your let's say this is your browser. No, so in your browser you have an console. Actually, this is the console. So you can see the you can write it to this console. That's console.log. Okay. So that is in web application, but we'll be seeing them much later. But yeah, giving a heads up. So comments, how to make a line inactive in C sharp. That is comment. So C sharp comments, if I say that double slash is C sharp comment. Okay, if I do the double slash, this line is ignored. So we call it as single line comments. Okay, it is with two forward slashes. So multi-line comments, how to give? It's like slash star, and wherever it ends, it's star slash, and you can easily do it by your application. See, if you see here, comment out the selected lines and uncomment the selected lines. So that's all. You got it. So that's it.
Yes.
Simple comments. You'll be using multiple places here. Okay, now we come to variables in C sharp. Okay. What is a variable? Okay. So we always think. We always think that variable. Okay, we know that variable is an object like where we store the data. Okay. Yeah, variable is an object where we store data. Okay. Let's say variables are containers for storing data values. That is the exact containers storing data value. Okay. But why it is called a variable? A variable means that can vary in data, no? Which means a variable means which is varying. Okay, it doesn't have single value. The value changes. So as it is named, any variable in C sharp will not hold a single value. Okay, the value changes. Okay, so let's say, so I hope you know all the variable data types, but I'll still write what all the variable data types we have. So we have int, this integer, which stores whole numbers. Okay, whole numbers. We have double. This stores floating point, that is decimal. Char, this holds character, single character. It will show single characters like B, A, like that. String. This stores text, lines, like text, lines, words, paragraphs, everything. And we have bool. This is boolean, true or false. That's all. It will store only true or false. So these are the different variables that we have in C sharp, and how to use them. Okay. Sorry, these are the different variable types that we have in C sharp. Variable types. Variable differs from type. Okay. I will show you how to use them. First, int. I am saying I want an integer. I want to store integer in my application. So I want to store integer in my application. What I should do is I should declare a variable based on that particular variable type. So I'm saying int, and I'm declaring a variable name. So I'm giving a name to my variable. My container should have a variable. No, so if in your kitchen you have like 10 boxes, if you name every boxes, if you say like dal to one box means you can directly go and take that box. If you are not naming it, it is difficult to find. No, same way, no. So you name a variable. So I am naming this integer variable as my num, and I'm assigning a value of 50. Okay, so this is how you declare variable and create variables. Okay, so int my num 50. So now my I'm doing is I'm creating this variable my num in my system, and that is holding the value of 50. So I have already told you this is a variable. So in any point you can change the value. See, my num equal to 10. So data has changed. Data has changed. And after that, again I'm changing the data 20. Wherever I can change data, the data will be changed. So this container my num will not hold an single data. My num, let's say this is like a container. First you are putting 50. The next time when you put 10, that 50 gets cleared, erased. So that memory is erased, and you are adding a 10 to that memory. That's all. That is what happens, and this is common with all the data types. So whenever you create a variable in C sharp, that data you can replace any point and any time in your system. So you got it. What is a variable actually?
Yes.
Yeah. So as you have seen here, I'll run and show you. So I have assigned 50, but I am again assigning 10 to my num. So my num value will get replaced from 50 to 10 actually. If you see, it would print 10. See, again I am assigning it 20. It will print 20 only. See, and I'm this is a shortcut to addition. We'll be seeing how to add value. But anytime I'm changing it, the data gets changed. Okay. So okay. So what is the syntax to declare a variable in C sharp is type variable name equal to value. Okay, this is the syntax you use to declare any variable in C sharp. And it doesn't mean that you should always initialize a value. We call it as initializing. That when you are assigning a value to an variable, it is initialization. It doesn't mean that you should do this. You can simply create the variable and assign it anywhere, anytime you want. Okay. And one more thing that I am going to tell is the camel casing. Okay, this is now not part of your course, but yeah, what is a camel casing? So if you see here how I have named the word, my the first word is small, and the second start of second word is in caps N, my num. So you see all the long int value, the first word will be small, and second, from the second I'll have I caps, V caps. This is what we call as camel casing, and in coding industry we say this as the coding standard. So a variable should be declared this way. That is how we do it. It does not change the way the code works and all, but uh, we write it in such a way so that we will be able to identify which is a variable, which is a class, like that. So it will be easy for us to identify in any time. Okay, so that we call it as a camel casing. Okay, you got it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that is camel casing, and you've seen how the data value changes. And I have all the how I have all the other declarations done here. How to double? I'm declaring a decimal value, character, a single character D, boolean, which will be false, or you can do true, and a string. You can write anything, even a paragraph or anything. Okay, so these are all the variables and how to declare the value to a variable. Okay,
Okay.
so now we have saw the variables. So as an architecture point, a variable does not have a specific memory, so it has a variable memory. So yeah, an C sharp application will not provide a variable with an permanent memory. Okay, and the memory will change anytime based on the type of value you provide, no? So what is the opposite way? Let's say this my num 10, no, we are using your what we are going to use the pi. Okay, let's say you are going to use pi in your system. Okay, what is the value of pi? Which is pi is double. Okay, pi is 3.14. So I'm asking you, well, whether this 3.14 will change anytime in your system. The value of pi never changes, no? Pi is 3.14. That's all. Whatever you do, pi will be 3.14. Okay, so I have it already here. Okay, let's yeah, that is 3.14. Okay, pi value never changes. So when you are going to use the pi in your system for some calculation or additions or something, this value is not going to change. So whenever if you are going to give it as a variable, so this is not wrong. So giving it as a variable is not wrong. Okay, you are the coder. You are not going to change the value anytime in the code. Okay, but
Okay.
but the right way is, as an architectural standpoint, we have two reasons to not give it as a variable. First, you know the exact value of a pi, but still if you are providing it as a variable means you are wasting the memory. Okay, as an architectural point I am saying you are wasting the memory, because when you give it as a variable you are not allotting the specific memory. Instead you are taking the random memory. Like you if you say 3.14 will hold only 1 MB means you're not giving 1 MB, but a variable will take 5 MB for minimum and it will be open for memory. Okay, so you are wasting that memory throughout your application. Okay, instead you can give whatever memory this will need. That's all. First, and second is, let's say it is an user application, like an interface application, web application. Means when you are exposing this pi value to the user, and if you are having it as a variable, any user might be able to change the pi value. Like, it's what we speak about is like, we speak about security issues and all, hacking and all, no? So this value can be changed. Okay, so to avoid the both the reasons, there is something called constants in C sharp. There is something called constants in C sharp, and that is not very complex. You add const before your variable. That's all. Con as constant is the variable for constant. So when you declare any variable as constant, you cannot change the value anytime. And one more thing is, when you are declaring any variable as constant, you should provide the value. Without value, you cannot declare any constant. Let's say I'll remove this. See, it's throwing the error saying a constant field requires a value. Okay. Second, you cannot change the value also. Here, what we are doing, you are assigning a int minum 50 and then you are changing a value minum to 10. No, let's try this here. Still it throws error. The left hand side of an assignment must be a variable, it says. Yours is not a variable, yours is a constant.
Okay.
So when you declare it as constant, the value cannot change. So a constant keyword is useful when you want a variable to always store the same value, so that others won't mess up your code. It stores in a specific memory. So you cannot declare a constant variable without assigning the value. So else it will throw you an error. All these things are main things that you should remember with constant. So we saw that variable name. Now I have showed you the variable name. So the my num, y, these are all the variable name, and this has one more name which is called display name. So in interviews, few people will ask about variable name, few people ask about display name, but yeah, I forgot to mention when I'm telling you about the variables. Yes, what is a display variable or display name? They will ask display variables. So how to display a variable? So this is the display variable, we say it as. Okay, so people
Okay.
will ask display variable. What is a display variable? So your right line will not print only integer. Your right line will print anything. Right or right line both will print anything. It will not print only the value directly, but it also print the variable also. Okay, so that's what we were seeing all the time. No? It was printing 10, 50 and all. So a right line method is often used to display variable values to the console window. So that we call it as display variables. And what are the different ways you can display a variable? That is what I am going to show you. Okay, let's say here. Name I am saying Brad. Okay. Console dot right line. What I'm going to do is I want to say that hello Brad. Okay, so let's say you are joining my application, you are coming into my application. So I get your name, so I should say hello Jignesh, no? So how do I do that?
Okay.
hello. I am printing hello, and it should be followed with your name, no? So I am saying that my my user is Brad. So hello Brad, I should say. So you can do this. Sorry, sir. So I'm saying hello and plus with the variable. So what I'm doing is I am printing the variable and as well as this hello. Let's run and see. Okay, I'm using the name already. Okay, this is one more classic example that you cannot have same variable name twice. Variable names can be only once. Okay, you cannot use same variable name twice. Okay. Oh, this is also I am using. Okay, we'll do this. So you see here, this username is holding the value Brad. So if you hover it, you'll know what value that is holding, and it prints hello Brad. So this, the combination of a variable, like multiple variables, or a variable and a text, or whatever you want, you do this combination with the plus. A plus is concatenation of text or integers or variables or anything, and this is what we call it as display variables. So if you are putting a plus between two text, two strings, or a string and an integer, means it will concatenate. Let's say I am going to put this between, let's do this, int new int value equal to 100. And the same thing I'm going to do it here, but only the going to have the plus only. So what do you think this will do? Both are integers. So previously you saw both were string, it did concatenated this, like it showed me hello Brad. So now both are integers. I'm having a
Okay.
plus. What this will do?
I like it's addition. Addition of
Ah,
100 plus 10.
yes. So that is the difference. So C sharp will be able to understand whether it should add or
Mm.
whether it should add or um, it should what is that, concatenate. Okay, so my num is already 0, so it
Okay.
added with 100, so it's saying 100. Because I am doing multiple things, I am dividing with 5 and all, so there itself it became 0. Okay, so C sharp will know that difference. So but in case, let's say, what this will give, instead of my new integer I'm giving my num, I'm okay, this, what this will give.
Username username plus a 0
What it
means
will
concatenation it means like
concat, no? Okay, it will
yes,
say Brad 0.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
it will say Brad 0. Okay, that is the difference. So yes, mm, I think you are good at that. Then I will tell you what is this addition in shortcut. Okay, so now you know that in C sharp you can do the additions. Okay, so addition, subtraction, um, directly.
Okay.
Okay, so when you are adding to variables, you can have a shortcut to add also. See, minum this line, no, what is this line? Minum equal to, okay, line number 32 and 33 are same.
Okay.
There's no difference. So I am adding 5 with my minum. So I am having a shortcut of writing it. Minum plus equal to 5 means minum will add with 5. The same thing you can do for subtraction, minus, multiplication, start, division, modulus. Everything is applicable. That's all. Okay. So this is a shortcut to add or subtract. So next what we are going to see is okay, this is also more like what I told, camel casing. So you would have seen that when we did learn C or C++ in school time, we'll be doing this way. Always creating a variable like X, Y, Z and all. So that's what we were used to. We call them as identifiers. Okay, this variable name we call them as identifiers. Okay. Basically, do not name them as X, Y, Z. Give them a proper name. So that is what here. So anywhere if you see, I would have giving them a name and proper name like mine and like whatever that makes senses to you. You should create. So creating a variable name has some rules. So that's what I'm going to do that. So your identifier should be clear for you. For you tomorrow, if you are giving the code to someone else for them to maintain, they should be able to identify it easily. It should not be a task for them. That's why. Okay. So there are general rules for naming variables. Like first one, names cannot contain letters, digits, and underscore character. It cannot contain letters, digits, and underscore and all. It cannot have. Okay. It doesn't see whatever rules that we are speaking now is doesn't like C sharp will not allow it. No, C sharp will allow it. C sharp will allow, but it is the basic rule. It is the coding standards that we are referring to. Okay, names must begin with a letter. Okay, names must begin with a letter or underscore. Basically, you cannot have the underscore in between. Okay, like this you cannot have. Like this you cannot name. Okay, let's write a new one. This is not allowed. Okay, see, it didn't throw error. C sharp will allow it, but yeah, as per coding standards, this is not how you should name. But you can name this way, underscore minor. And where we will name this one, I will tell you again. Okay, there are specific places only we will name. See, I told you your variables should start with small letters and the second word should be in caps. Okay, so that is one. There is one more rule. So when you create a public variable is the variable that is available throughout the application. See, this minum is only available inside the static void main. Outside the static void main, if I need need a variable means I should create it as public variable. We'll be seeing them later. We call it as field and field. We'll be seeing
Okay.
them later. These field you should name it starting with underscore so that anyone sees will easily understand. Okay.
Okay.
And variable and this the other rule I said. Okay, So name should start with lowercase. Lowercase. You cannot have spaces. Names are case sensitive. Okay. So there's a difference between my num and my num and my this my num. Okay. Be careful. So case sensitive. Reserved words are not allowed to be as an variables like int, double, and all. You cannot have them as a variable name. Okay. So this is with way allow until variables we are naming. Okay, so we'll wrap up for today. So tomorrow I'll be starting with the data types and all. How to use the data types and all. I'll be starting with that. Then typecasting, and I'll be moving on from there. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll resume from tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Any questions? Anything? Any doubts?
No, no. Okay.
Okay. One thing I will ask you is just try to brush up, have a seat, whatever that we tried. Maybe it is a very small topic or very small thing, but yeah, try it every day. When you try it at the end of the course, it will be very familiar to you. More than studying, it will be like you working. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let me know if you face any issue. Also, you can put it in the group so that I can help you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see tomorrow. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.